Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yep, what's good, original crew, man? We're back. Hey, man, we're back on the channel. Hey, man, we got the boy code named Soup in the building. Zuko chasing the Avatar ended up being Mission Impossible. For those who don't know, that aren't over there on our Patreon, I am getting ready to start the Avatar. But I do plan on doing, it might be solo reacts. Solo?
You already announced? Yes, yeah.
Solo reacts, back over there on Patreon. I plan on doing Avatar, but I want to know, should I do Avatar? Should I do the anime or the live action? Y'all let me know in the comments. Then we'll get that kicked off and started, you know? But see, you ready? Mm-hmm. Let's get it. Let's check this out, y'all. Let's see what it's about. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Now, this man Zuko really went through hell for no reason. Didn't want to fight his father in the Agni Kai, and then he's going to get scarred and pops out with the worst cut possible and gets sent on his way to search for an avatar who hasn't been seen for 100 years. And not only does he have to be able to find him, he has to capture him and bring him back. Why even give dudes a goal like that? It's like the people who be walking up to content creators talking about how much likes or views for a collab, and they be talking about some 10 mil game. Just say no at that point. But that's the type of timing Ozai was on. He's a whole dickhead, and I just know the crew mad as hell they have to go with him. Cause look at their situation. If you're a crew member, you're really just a grown-ass soldier sent on Mission Impossible in finding the Avatar, led by a 13-year-old with no experience in this shit at all. I know everyone in that shit mad as hell. Every day they wake up, you know they're hitting the Great Stare. But after 3 long years of searching, Zuko is gonna finally get his first sighting of Aang. As he's chilling in the ice, bro think he Captain America, Katara's gonna break him out, causing the ice to break and the ray of light to shine in the air. And somehow, some way, Zuko was just in the area, able to catch a glimpse of it. Uncle Iroh's just gonna say this is another false alarm. Just over there still drinking his tea and playing the board game. Iroh's reaction is really a testament to how many times they've been through this. But Zuko don't give up. He tells them to set course for the light and they head directly to it. And if Aang was actually conscious for those 100 years getting that XP, Zuko would have been actually cooked. Because he's on this ship still learning the basics, begging Uncle Iroh to teach him an advanced set, but Uncle Iroh says he still hasn't mastered the fundamentals. Bro, what do you mean? You should have been mastered the fundamentals of your own element already. You're hunting the Avatar. You should have had years of straight Julian Newman training under your belt, but it all turned out to be okay.
And that, see, that's the training he said everybody study.
Advanced training.
That's what he called it, didn't he? He said advanced training.
You should have had years of straight Julian Newman training under your belt, but it all turned out to be okay because in those 100 years, he had the game paused. Gained no XP as he was biologically 12. And as a kid, he's just gonna do what a kid does, some dumb shit. As he leads Katara on a ship that they are not supposed to go on, they fall for a booby trap that sets up a flare, giving Zuko the exact location of the water tribe that they're in. So Zuko pulls up to the weakest tribe ever. They got a waterbender that can't bend, a bunch of future OKC 2040 draft picks, and Sokka, who at this point is trash. He got no facilities to defend against them. This straight Jalen Brunson versus James Harden in the playoffs. The only redeeming quality about Sokka at this point is the fit he put on. It's like he spent all his VC on the fit and no attributes. He's gonna stand on the front lines, and the ship comes crashing into this weak ass snowball, not even ice. And Sokka's just up there trying to hit this big ass ship with a club. You know that shit's not gonna work. But it mushes the snow, sending him back, and now their ship is all up in their grill. And look at their base, bruh. This shit really looked like my Clash of Clans base in 5th grade. Every time I'd log on, it'd be a new person doing my base crazy. Zuko's gonna do his walkout with the army, doing it with steez, and right here we really see Sokka is straight cone work. Sokka's gonna run in hooting and hollering, just for Zuko to kick his weapon away and kick him to the side with the same leg. And he just keeps marching along on some But anywho, nah, this dude really started the show off with the aura of Krillin, face in the snow and your feet is dangling in the air, gang, yeah, this is bad looks. He gotta be thankful cameras didn't exist back then. He would be getting hit with the craziest this use by Zuko in that team avatar chat. He walks up to the group of women and children, grabs Gran and tells them to drop the location of where Aang's at, throwing her back into the people and instilling fear into the crowd with his flames. But Sokka is going to W-key him again, picking up his weapon and running behind him. But the issue is, dude is full on screaming while running. So now Zuko is fully alerted, allowing him to weave, flip him over, and put him on his ass. But right here, he's gonna redeem himself a little bit, as he successfully hits the quick time event, weaving the fireball and throws a boomerang. It misses, and they got the kid in the back talking about some show no fear, and he throws him a spear. So you know he hyped up, especially after a catch like that. He runs in, and I know this gotta be the equivalent of a Hulk fan watching Thanos embarrass the hell out of him, cause Zuko breaks down the spear, snatches it from him, and he's gonna put up the dukes just to get repeatedly poked by the back end of the spear, sitting him down and completely embarrassing him. But Sokka wasn't finished yet, cause the boomerang he threw earlier comes back and it's going to fuck his helmet as that shit turned to the side. And he didn't like getting hit with that shit at all. So now he's gearing up to eviscerate bro. But Aang is gonna come in right before it gets messy, coming from behind and tripping Zuko, causing him to hit the Ice Spice emote and the helmet to fall on top of it. And this frame looks crazy. Having this done in front of your whole fleet is wicked works, especially coming from a guy who talks about honor.
My honor. My honor. My honor. There's no honor for my honor.
Yeah, this not looking honorable, my boy. But their first encounter begins, as Zuko stands back up, squaring up, but still, he has no idea who he's really up against. Until Aang strikes first, airbending, pushing the snow forward, and saying, "Looking for me?" And now Zuko is just confused as hell, cause he was imagining some OP-ass old bald dude who mastered all 4 elements. But the only thing he got right is that he's a bald bitch. So he's just like, well, I'm with that, and starts throwing fire attacks, which Aang blocks, but he realizes that this whole fight was gonna put everyone in danger. So he makes a decision to stop the fight and go with Zuko, so he leaves these people alone, giving Aang his first mature moment. But now that he was isolated from the water tribe, it's time for Aang to go to work. As he has 2 hands tied behind his back and only 2 guards on him, he knew it was gonna be easy work. Aang takes a deep breath while the other guard is using the key, blowing the guard into the door, and knocks out the other guard by putting his spine to the edge of the stairs. He jumps up and airbends the door open to get in the main level of the ship. And now the word is spread that the Avatar is out. So the other guards and Zuko are alerted, and Aang runs into a lineup of 3 guards. And he just decides to corkscrew sprint past them, causing them all to miss and him to get out scot-free, clearing that level with ease. He jumps up and now he's isolated against another guard, one-on-one. And here, Aang is gonna make a high IQ play, jumping over the soldier's fire blast and uses the sharp edge of his helmet to free him from the rope tie. And now that he's free, Aang is running around the ship searching for where the staff might be at. And look at Iroh, bruh. Ain't no way Aang got bodies dropping on this metal ship and he's soundly sleeping through all that. He eventually sees his staff, but Zuko was behind the door plotting. Set up this crazy bait as Aang enters the room and Zuko slams the door talking about some
got him. We fucking got him.
And now in this Hell in the Cell match, Zuko starts spamming Fire Blast, but he could not touch Aang. As he's out there weaving all attacks, he's gonna decide to go through his leg and start embarrassing him, expose his low sensitivity. As he stands directly behind him, he got him firebending at nothing. And after all that embarrassment, Aang still wasn't done, cause the next attack he cancels out and puts his 100-year-old boot to the top of his head and kicks off, making an air scooter, and he's just gonna go in circles around the room having Zuko looking silly. Zuko finally locks in though, tripping Aang, making him hit the wall, and he dodges again, grabbing the banner and he entraps him in it, finally getting a chance to get a hold of his gold loot, his staff. Zuko breaks out the banner, and now we get the standoff of a century. The prince who has been waiting years for this matchup versus Aang, who just unpaused his game. But no crowd holding Aang back this time. This shit was premium bait though, leaned up in my seat for no reason. This fight lasted a whole of 2 seconds, as Aang uses the mattress to slam him into the wall, then the ceiling, and right after that, Aang dips out. He goes all the way to the highest level, opening the hatch, and dude over here didn't even bother stopping him, just let him go by. He runs out the top, throws his glider, and he jumps out to grab it. And man, you can never tell me this man Zuko was not hungry. Look how far out Aang is at this point. And still, Zuko comes jumping off the top to grab his leg. Like, this frame right here is crazy. That big ass King Ka dropped to the ground and Zuko really leapt for him, no hesitation.
This nigga is crazy.
They both come tumbling down, and Appa, Sokka, and Katara are in the back ready to complete this extraction mission. But Zuko didn't wait all this time and come this close for nothing. So he presses up, firebending, putting Aang on the complete defensive. And he manages to make Aang fumble his staff. And without his staff, Aang has to weave, leading him to sidestepping, ducking, and jumping back to the very edge of the ship. And right here, he got no way out. As he's completely off balance, Zuko's gonna send Fire Blast to completely push him off the ship and into the icy water. But now his ult was ready. As he passes the controller to Avatar Roku, entering the Avatar state, flying up, creating a water tornado. He towers over the ship, having Zuko shook. And he comes down to the ship with the sauce, forming a water ring around himself and disperses it, sending everyone back and knocking Zuko off the ship. Aang is gonna faint, looking like a deflated car dealership mascot, and Katara and Sokka rush to his aid. He turns out to be fine, but he said he needs his staff. So Sokka's gonna run, pick it up, but Zuko is still there. So now Sokka's gonna get him back for earlier, bonking him 3 times, causing him to fall and grab onto this anchor. He calls him a bitch, runs away, and as they're getting ready to leave, 3 troops on the ship were still up and running. So Katara starts waterbending, trying to make that shit look vicious, but she ends up sending the water backwards, freezing Sokka, and they continue to tread forward. So she's just like, fuck it, accepts that her bending is trash, and decides to do the same move backwards, and it works, freezing the other troops, and they fly on out. And after this complete war on the ship, Iroh finally wakes up to see the aftermath and helps Zuko up, and they team up to send the fire blast right to the flying bison. But Aang is full on fed up with these dudes. Like, look at him in the back seething with anger. He's gonna run up using the tail wings of his glider to deflect the blast into the ice, causing it to spill over, covering and completely stopping the ship, giving Aang his first successful escape. So the next time we see Zuko, he docks on a land in which General Zhao occupies for repairs for his ship. And General Zhao is looking at his ship like, damn bro, who fucked that shit up? Getting real skeptical cause Zuko has one mission and one mission only. Zuko and Iroh, knowing the terms and conditions of the banishment, understand that if Zhao gets knowledge of the Avatar being alive, he can completely take over and capture the Avatar for himself, leaving Zuko with no way of returning home. So they start fibbing, coming up with the story that they ran into an Earthbender ship and got into battle with them. And Zhao said, really? You must tell me all the details, and asks for them to join him for a drink. Zuko tries to say they're busy and leave, but Iroh suspects that he was still skeptical. So he says they would be honored to join him, which turned out to be a horrible move, cause not only did Zuko not drink shit, he was just in there getting pressed about his progress for finding the Avatar anyways. Zhao kept asking more and more questions, each causing Zuko to sweat and get nervous. And this whole time, it was revealed that Zhao was actually stalling for his men who were interrogating Zuko's men. And you know they not solid. Saw one of the soldiers tweet, they rather serve crack than serve on Zuko's fleet. Zuko had enough of being interrogated though, as he tries to walk out, but he stopped. And a soldier comes in and tells Zhao that one of Zuko's men confirmed that they saw the Avatar. All they had to do was offer bro a cheeseburger and he got to talking. So now Zuko is forced to tell the whole story, letting him know that him and his squad of grown men lost to a 12-year-old. And after hearing that story, Zhao said, yeah, they not even comp, and immediately decides to allow them to leave. And you see, for a normal person, it would be good news to hear that they're free to go. But Zuko's pride in himself couldn't get past the fact that he's not seen as a threat. So he starts pressing him, causing them each to get real disrespectful to each other, and Zuko ends up challenging him to an Agni Kai, to which Zhao happily accepts. And Iroh is like, do you know what happened to the last person you challenged to an Agni Kai? And he says,
I will never forget.
Fast forwarding to the Agni Kai, Zuko and Zhao are each in their respective corners. Iroh tells Zuko to remember the fundamentals. He just says, I won't lose, and turns to fight. They stand off and Zuko throws the first attacks, and Zhao shows excellent defense, leads right, then left, and completely negates the final attack, leaving Zuko with no hits. And he's over there breathing heavy as shit, looking like DJ Khaled walking up a flight of stairs. Like, damn gang, 3 attacks got you tired already? He locks back in though, doing a spinning fire kick, and Zhao deflects it with ease again. So this time, Zuko's gonna try a more drawn out attack, doing a fire kick towards him, making Zhao conjure up a fire attack of his own to block him out, leaving Zuko to go 0 for 6, putting up no buckets. And now it's Zhao's turn to go on offense, firing, to which Zuko parries with perfect form 3 separate times. with the fourth one causing him to fall back. Zhao is going to use this opportunity to rush him, leaping forward to go right in front of him and fires at a close range, trying to give his ass another scar. But Zuko said, nah, I'm not going out like this again. Hits a tabletop spin, tripping Zhao in one swift move. Shit was so clean they played it 3 separate times. He lands holding this smirk, and he knew the shift in momentum was in his favor, keeping the pressure up by sending fire attacks to his legs, keeping him constantly off balance. And he finally hits an attack that topples him to the ground. And now that he got him right where he wants him, Zhao's crazy ass is gonna tell him to do it. And Zuko fires an attack next to his head and says next time he gets in his way, he won't hold back. And this is how you know this is a backwards nation. Zuko was over there mad that he wasn't getting jailed over withholding information on the Avatar, and Zhao over here is mad that Zuko didn't give him a scar to match, and instead decided to walk away. Zhao is gonna show that he's a bitch-made general, attacking while his back is turned, and Iroh comes in, negating the attack and throwing him off, making him lose even more aura than he already has. Sun lost a 1v1 to a 16-year-old banished prince and then failed with his sneak attack. Yeah bro, just hang it up for the day. But now that this event occurred, Zuko's mission is a lot harder, cause now the whole Fire Nation is aware of the Avatar's return. So now someone else could take on the task of capturing the Avatar, keeping him from returning to the Fire Nation. But now that Zuko beat Zhao, he switched up crazy. He's in the room meditating, and Iroh comes in and he says,
The only reason you should be interrupting me is if you have news about the Avatar.
I'm crying. Dudes win one Agni Kai and start talking like the Fire Lord. Bro, you know you have never talked to Uncle Iroh like that in your life. But anyways, the Avatar arrives on Kyoshi Island, and the news spread like wildfire. It's one big ass game of telephone, and it reaches Zuko within days. And Zuko's so hungry he ain't even eaten. Heard the news that the Avatar's on Kyoshi's Island, and immediately left the dinner table to tell his men to ready the ship. That's really a dude who just wants it more, cause fuck all that, I'm eating. They sail all the way to Kyoshi, pulling up to the scene with rhinos, alerting all the warriors. And they were out there moving like the Ninja Turtles, jumping off the roof to ambush them. They're gonna make quick work of the Fire Nation NPCs, but when it came to Zuko, he was shown to be the only one able to put up resistance, smacking Suki with the rhino's tail, and he almost ends up finishing her right there. But thankfully Sokka came in, cause Suki was not dodging that. Look at her face. She thought this was it for her. They knock Zuko off the rhino and the 3 of them surround him. But hey, right here, I gotta admit, it really seems like his years of training has paid off, cause in one fell swoop, he takes 2 Kyoshi warriors out of commission, and is left to another 1v1 against Sokka, so you know it's free eats. He's gonna sweep, causing Sokka to jump, and he times it again for when he lands, knocking Sokka out. So at this point, Zuko got himself a little win streak. He beat Zhao, dropped these 3 off. He's really feeling it out there, talking about some
I'm through playing. Who's next?
calling for the Avatar, and he walks out like, yeah, I'm right here. And Zuko instantly gets to striking, firing 2 fireballs, to which Aang dodges one, blocks another, and Aang is going to rush at him, flying to him just to get his staff kicked away. So he retreats, going back and using the force to pick up the fans. And Sun hits a move he has never did in his life. Look at the windup for this attack. He's performing a whole sacred dance into a strong wind blast, booming Zuko, and he's gonna fly on out afterwards. He sees the aftermath of where the village is left in, and unlike the average Avenger, who would just be up in the tower celebrating like the city ain't looking like this, he genuinely feels bad for the property damage done. He goes to Katara, and she suggests that they leave the island, so that Zuko could follow and leave these people be. So they head on out on the Bison, and Zuko tells his men to head back to the ship. And just before Aang completely leaves, he's gonna make a responsible decision, jumping off to tame the Unagi, and puts out the flames, believing that this is the very least he could do, and heads on out again, giving Aang another successful escape. So now, Zuko's on the hunt again, ending up on this island with Uncle Iroh, who is very unserious. He's having this hot spring bath to wind down from his riveting performance in helping capture the Avatar, and he tries to get on out, but Zuko understandably was like, no, you take a couple minutes to yourself, I'm not trying to see all that, and leaves him be. But after a couple more minutes of him relaxing in the spring, Earthbenders come by and capture him, figuring out from his hanging clothing that he's with the Fire Nation, so they take him in. Zuko finds out later on that his uncle is missing, and from the looks of the spring, he could tell that this is works of Earthbenders. The next day, we see Uncle Iroh again, chained up and captured, and for some reason they didn't let bro put his clothes back on. And here, he's gonna show why he's different. He baits them into touching the handcuffs by explaining that the loose handcuffs hidden against his wrist is making him uncomfortable. and that a solution to this would be to tighten it so it doesn't shake around as much. The guards deemed it to be reasonable too. They saw no drawbacks for the captured to have tighter handcuffs, and Iroh's gonna heat up his handcuffs and force the earthbender's hand on it. He screams in pain, leading him to be immobile, and Iroh gets the bright idea to firebend the ground to cause the animals to go into a panic. And he's gonna escape by stop, dropping, and rolling off the cliff. And this gotta be one of the most anticlimactic escapes of all time, cause they just look down the cliff, see him rolling, and they cover his ass in dust and rocks, stopping him from escaping. And the guards decide that he's too much of a threat. They gotta take care of him right now. And Iroh lets out this slick grin. And the reason why is cause last night he purposely fell off the animal, got picked back up, and left his slipper behind for Zuko to find. And in the daytime where he could be found easier, he decided to show how threatening he could be, forcing them to stop and reevaluate how they could apprehend him, while preventing him from making any more funny moves, giving Zuko ample time to find him. And here is where they really set it up for us to see Zuko's character. Cause as he was looking for Iroh, following the trails of the Earthbender's animals, Appa's gonna fly right behind him, and it's here where he has to decide if he cares more about finding the Avatar or getting back his uncle. They cut away trying to create suspense, but thankfully he made—
Which one you doing before he?
No, probably get my uncle.
You going after the op?
I get him when I get him.
or getting back his uncle. They cut away trying to create suspense, but thankfully, he made the respectable choice of going for his uncle. And thank goodness he did, cause they're really about to crush Iroh's hand with this big ass rock. I didn't even remember this part, they were really on some mafia shit. He goes for it and Zuko kicks it away. And we get to see this duo in action for the first time, as Zuko breaks Iroh's chain, freeing him for the 2-on-5. And here was an elite display of skill. For the defensive, Iroh's gonna be on the job. As the Earthbenders attack, Iroh's gonna use his chain to break the rocks, and for the offensive, Zuko's gonna handle it, swiftly taking out 2 benders, and he almost gets sneaked, as the remaining 2 team up to throw a boulder right at his dome full speed. But thankfully, Iroh is going to counterattack, grabbing it with the chains and throwing it right back at them, killing 2 birds with 1 stone, and now only 1 remain. And he was out there moving like a final boss. As he throws 3 at once, Zuko's gonna hit some Michael Jackson smoothness. Look at how he dances around this, clean. And he's gonna do it into a fire hit. He weaves, and Zuko throws 2 more fire attacks, to which he blocks, and he's going to muster up an ultimate move, ready to 2-hand rock clobber Zuko. He was scared shitless, but before he could execute the move, Iroh comes in with the chains and throws him off balance, causing him to fall face first and to get crushed by the rocks Obito style, successfully taking down what seems to be highly skilled earthbenders. But now it's time for him to go back to the goal of hunting the Avatar. As he goes to the haunted village nearby, and G checks the first dude he sees. Look at what he's doing. The man walks out his house tired as fuck, and Zuko's gonna come up and say, having trouble sleeping? Into the shove, and he just starts interrogating him about the whereabouts of the Avatar. He gets what he needs with the Batman Now Talk method, and figures out that Aang is going into the Fire Nation to contact Avatar Roku. But the issue for Zuko is, he's still banished. So if he goes in, he could still get captured. He has no choice though, as he sets sail with his ship, and for some reason, this bitch could keep up with a flying bison. Bro, how? They're faced with a blockade of boats armed with trebuchets, and Aang can't afford to go around it due to the timing of the solstice. And Zuko can't afford to let the Avatar get caught by anyone else but him. So they both make the decision right then and there to go through. Zuko starts screaming that we, yes, me, and everybody on this boat need to put our lives on the line to capture the Avatar. And Iroh's over there just like,
We? We?
but he can't even dip out for real, cause this is the only ship here, and Zuko's in command. So he tries telling him how this is not worth it on many levels, but Zuko is genuinely not hearing it. Zhao commands his ship to fire, but Appa's out there moving, swerving left and right, and dodging tons of fireballs with grace. He was up there looking majestic, but for Zuko's crew, they could see hell coming their way, as the fireball rains down, causing water to flood over the ship and the engine to be struck. Had the ship smoking. Even one of the crew members said we gotta stop the ship for repairs, and Zuko said no, we not stopping. If I'm dying, you dying with me. It's like watching reverse Odysseus. This man doesn't give 2 shits about his crew members. Aang and Appa eventually break through, getting past Zhao and flying into the Fire Nation. And for Zuko, he was only let through for tactical reasoning, as Zhao knew that Zuko would be the person to lead them straight to the Avatar. But Zuko had a plan for that though. You see, his ship is like on 4 HP, it got a concerning amount of smoke coming out the engine. Like you would really be concerned that this bitch is about to blow up any minute now. But the smoke seems to be in Zuko's favor, as he came up with a plan for Uncle Iroh to keep leading them forward, and for him to take a small ship to sneak towards the actual direction of the Avatar, which was the Crescent Island Fire Temple. In here, Aang, his squad, and a loyal fire sage come up with a last-second plan to trick the rest of the temple sages into opening the door that leads to Roku's room by having them think the Avatar was already in there. With the use of Momo and some gunpowder, they were completely fooled, as the remaining sages rushed to open the door just to see that it was a winged lemur.
Who the fuck?
And the crew holds back all the sages, waiting for Aang to enter. But what they didn't know was that this whole time, Zuko was out there doing some stealth shit and caught the Avatar. He orders them to close the doors, and even though Zuko got a hold of him, had his hands behind his back and everything, there was no real belief for me that this would be it. And I was right, because Aang does a spin move and kicks Zuko off. And just before the door closes, Aang is gonna clutch up, hitting this guy with the Michael Jordan, and Mario jumps off the other dude's head to slip in. And what sucks for Zuko is he can't reopen the doors until Roku is finished with his talks with Aang. So now this gave Zhao enough time to pull up, capture Zuko too, and now he got all the time in the world to set up a spawn trap for when Aang comes out that room. Here's the thing though, Roku has the ability to take the controller, so after a few minutes of the talk, the door opens, and I can't tell if Sokka's a real one or acting his ass off, cause he's in the back of this bitch tweaking for Aang. Like, is this one of those fake ass hold me back moments, doing all this cause he knows he's chained up, or does he actually give a fuck? They see a glimpse of the Avatar and the firebenders attack, and Roku's gonna show that there's levels to this firebending shit, taking control of the fire, rotating it around, and dispels it out towards the enemies, pushing them back, and simultaneously frees Aang's friends and Zuko from the chains. Then he's gonna melt the floor and bend the lava below, causing the building to collapse, and everybody rushes on out. Once the job was done, he gives control back to Aang, and the gang helps him walk out. They take Aang and get to the edge of the collapsing building, and Appa comes in to save them, giving Aang another successful escape from Zuko. And by this point, you would think this would be disheartening to bro, cause getting that close just to keep fumbling time after time would drive anyone crazy. But for him, nah, cause the very next episode, he finds them again. But he is straight full court pressing out there, sliding his feet for this shit. As the next news he hears is from pirates that explain that they need to find a water tribe girl walking around with a bald monk with an arrow on his head, cause they went on their boat and stole a water bending scroll from them. So he says he could help find the water scroll as long as he could get to capture the bald monk, making sure not to reveal that he's the Avatar. With the information that they took the water scroll, Zuko's gonna suggest they travel along the river, cause if you're gonna practice water bending, there's a high chance you're around water. And he was right, cause he overhears Katara being shitty, messing up and raging because he can't get the move down, and they dock with the quickness, causing a loud scraping sound to ring throughout the forest, which Katara hears and immediately checks it out, realizing she's in danger. But the second she turns, she runs into a pirate who is just gonna be right there, and I'm just lost as hell cause there's literally no way bro can get from there to over there that quietly and that fast. He grabs her, and Katara uses water bending to make him unhand her, and runs right into Zuko, who grabs both hands of her wrist and captures her. They end up tying Katara to a tree and start pressing Katara to snitch on her day ones, but she's not doing it. So the pirates are just like, alright bro, fuck this, just give us the scroll that we came for and you go handle the rest. And Zuko's just like, the fuck? Quit playing, I'll burn this shit right here. Go out there and find him. Had me watching like, my fault Big Z, didn't know you was moving like that. They end up cooperating and they were able to capture Aang with
no
ease.
reaction.
As all it really took was this man with 2 crossbows to cast a net firing at Aang, and it gets him first try. And they head on out. And Sokka's over there like, damn gang, I'm not even worth capturing, and they just take him too. A pity capture is crazy. But Sokka's gonna show his worth here, cause right before the trade, he turns into a D1 instigator. Says, yo bro, you're really gonna go through with this trade? The Avatar for some weak ass waterbending scroll? Causing them to be like, wait, what? This kid right here's the Avatar? And Sokka's like, yeah, and he's worth way more than that weak ass scroll y'all trying to get. All I'm saying is the Fire Lord will pay 40 times as much as you would get for that scroll. And they were just like, yeah, he right. You could keep that shit, gang. We taking the Avatar. And started walking away. And Zuko's like, oh, hell no. Y'all not walking out of this. And attacks them, causing them all to jump out the way. And bro over here was really on go, cause he rushes in first with no backup to throw smoke bombs and ducks under a fire blast. And then he's gonna run to where the smoke is and hop in that bitch first. No help. I know you saw their squad. There was like 7 of them. Yeah, this dude different.
Bro, he was dead, bro. If he wanted you out of there, he'll go do it himself on feet by himself.
3 of them run out though, going for the Avatar, and the Choptastic 4 come in and throw a smoke bomb. They try to stop right outside, and the pirates are like, man, get over here. And they're in there straight jumping him. And in the midst of all that, Aang's squad is gonna find a way to get freed. As Momo comes in, chewing on the rope to free Katara, and Aang gets free from sharp objects getting swung around. And for Sokka, he finds a sword on the ground, and he's gonna use it to cut the rope, and Zuko's gonna hop out the smoke too, making sure to completely abandon his men, cause fuck it, who cares? And he almost gets his head cut smooth off by the lead pirate, and they start scrapping. And as that was happening, Aang, Katara, and Sokka are all gearing up to get the fuck up out of there, using water bending to move the boat offshore and into the sea. And they were so distracted with the boxing that Uncle Iroh had to come in and say, yo bro, they stole your ships, and they long gone too. And Zuko's first reaction was to laugh at bro. He didn't even notice his own ship was taken. Fuck, it's so funny, banished boy. The pirates use the ship to catch up, and they get fried, as the first 2 walking up get washed by Aang's waves, sending one off the boat. And Katara's gonna send over the other one with the water whip. And Sokka's gonna use his stealth abilities here, walking up behind this pirate and kicking him overboard. We really came a long way from episode 1. This man used to be yelling, letting his enemy know that he's behind him. Now look at him. But eventually the boat gets to the edge of the waterfall, so they take the leap of faith, and again, Appa comes through to save him. But for the next encounter with Aang, they're gonna switch it up on us, as Aang gets caught lacking in the force by dudes who are all more useful than Hawkeye, as they use their precision to pin Aang to this tree and captures him. And these men were working under Zhao, so now Zuko has to pull off this extraction mission, cause if it ain't Zuko capturing Aang, he ain't going home. And this wasn't an easy task either. This shit got 3 separate walls holding Aang in. These dudes got the Attack on Titan layout, and Zuko's gonna still somehow find a way, as he starts off by hiding under the carriage, and the guard is going to make the mistake of checking the interior first, and then under, allowing Zuko to relocate and sneak into the back. The guard's going to deem the carriage to be clear, and it brings them to the very last wall, and Zuko finds an opening to sneak to the top of the wall and rope himself downwards and into the sewers. Got in fast as hell. This gotta be a top 3 stealth feat. Number 1 being MJ, a fucking non-superpowered news reporter, sneaking into a base filled with Kraven's hunters and taking them out. But as he gets in, he's gonna scare the 4 guards, throwing an empty helmet, and the first brave soldier checks it out and gets cooked in seconds. So they send 2 more, and you already know it's cooked, because we got 1 dude who's actually getting ready for the smoke, clearing wide, and this dude over here on the wall is ready to bait him. He sees no threat, and all of a sudden he wanna act brave, and performatively jumps out with ferocity, knowing damn well he didn't see an enemy in the hallway cause Zuko was up above. He executes his stealth takedown, dragging them up, and now there was only 1 more dude in his way, and this man was getting ready to call for backup, grabbing the horn, and Zuko throws a knife to hit it out his hands. He runs up and negates the fire blast with the bucket of water and trips him up. And now it's time for the hardest part of the mission, getting Aang out and escaping this prison. He gets to Aang, cutting him free and motioning him to follow along. And they travel from under, avoiding the guards, and they cleanly find an opening to head for the walls. But while they were on their way to escape the first wall, Zhao is gonna find the bodies, causing him to run outside and alert the others that the Avatar has escaped. And they catch Aang and the Blue Spirit, cutting them down mid-climb, causing them to change up plans, heading for the doors instead. The guards are going to start to close the doors and wall up, but Aang uses a wind blast to push them all out the way and continues running. And that boy Aang was out of there, like he was really gonna make it. But Aang too much of a real one because he stops for Zuko, allowing for this soldier to catch up, and he takes the spear, kicks him off, and makes a makeshift staff, breaking the blade end of the spear, and goes on to help Zuko, using 2 powerful wind blasts to push the enemies out the way, and he's gonna launch Zuko up, putting him on the first wall. And you're gonna notice that each wall they get to, they get aggressively more creative, because for the second wall, Aang turns his staff into propellers and carries Zuko over the second wall. They make it, crash landing, and the men come out the woodworks like Sifu NPCs. Aang goes for his staff, but it gets kicked off, and Aang distracts the swordsman, allowing Zuko to sneak behind and throw him off. Aang is gonna pretty much handle the rest though, as he airbends the other men off the wall, and a new set of men come through with a bamboo ladder, scaling the wall, and Aang is gonna get real violent. First, he pushes the 2 closest off, then he's gonna look straight down this ladder and push them down this 20-foot wall full force, and then they're gonna bounce all the way back here. Yeah, nah gang, I don't know if these men are returning for Avengers Doomsday. And even after that, he goes to the other set of men and they suffered the same fate, violently getting pushed down. Aang is then gonna come up with one last wild idea, taking the ladders and tells the blue spirit to jump on his back, and they are now vaulting across. And out of the hundreds of men who are just staring and drooling, not doing anything, one of the firebenders is actually gonna use their brain and burn the last ladder. And it causes Aang and Zuko to leap way earlier and not make it, slipping down the wall, and the men are gonna hit them with fire blasts, but Zhao is like, stop, we need him alive. So that gives Zuko the idea to threaten to take his life, giving Zhao no choice but to let him walk. But it's not over though, as he had one more trick up his sleeve. So he gets a legendary archer whose name is not Hawkeye, so you know he nice, and tells him to target the blue spirit and knock him out. And Aang is going to quickly airbend a smoke screen as Zhao commands the men to recover the avatar. He takes off his mask, sees that it's Zuko, and is like, oh hell nah, I'm out. But mid-run, he decides it wasn't right to leave him and escapes with him. The next day after,
I would have left his ass though. Would you? Are you dead?
Aang starts telling him a story about how he had a friend in the Fire Nation whose cut was not as heinous as his, and they would hang out all the time. But Zuko was not trying to hear that. So he tries attacking Aang, and he jumps out the way and leaves, giving Aang another successful escape from Zuko. So in this next encounter, Zuko's gonna find out he has a stowaway on the ship through a bounty hunting lady with an animal that could track anyone down through scent. And what makes her really OP is that she has a tongue whip that could instantly paralyze anyone. So Zuko ends up hiring her to track down Katara using her necklace. The animal, which is named Nyla, was able to hunt down Katara with ease, but there was no Aang in sight. But thankfully for them, they were holding a map that had Aang's scent leading them right into the village. It starts circling around, and it realized that Aang was up above coming to knock him down, throwing Nyla off balance and they all fall. But they're gonna end up getting back up again, rushing Aang, but Appa comes in and rams them out the frame and into the wall. And look, now she wanna lay there acting like a victim. Nah bro, you were the one that came looking for these problems.
That was you.
But this leads to a one-on-one with Zuko, so you know Aang about to stat path to this free win. Zuko starts off with a fire blast, Aang blocks, and he's smoothly gonna spin into an air blast, and they each just go dodge for dodge. Zuko then closes the distance, hits out Aang's staff, leading me to thinking he's about to do something after disarming him. But he rapidly goes 0 for 5, and Aang goes behind him. He weaves back, and they're gonna do this Sonic the Hedgehog flash, leading them to land on the tiles up above. Meanwhile, Appa's over there 2v1ing, ramming into Nyla and sending June off, and June's gonna hit him with a fadeaway whip. So now Appa's seeing red, really trying to kill her, cause he almost crushes her body with a heavy paw. And the camera's gonna cut back to Aang as he's getting up, and Zuko's gonna come through with a flame attack, and Aang jumps over it, hitting this Karate Kid crane kick stance, and Zuko tries hitting him with a diving strike, but he jumps up, does the Mario Galaxy spin to suspend in the air for a bit, and attacks back, but Zuko dodges and returns fire, but Aang blocks, hits him with a Kamehameha wind attack into the wall, and just look at his trolling ass copying the same exact move Zuko did earlier, just stole that shit. He slides off, and Aang is randomly third party by Nyla, so this dude is gonna start running away on some temple run shit and runs to a well, where Zuko ends up chasing him down, and this is really the biggest mistake
of your lousy career.
cause right here, Aang is gonna cook him bad. First off, it starts with Aang hitting 3 spin moves around the well, and he sees him holding Katara's necklace. Now, do I know why that shit is just wrapped around his wrist and not in his pocket? No, but it's there though. He says, you got something I want, and Zuko's just like, pause, and Aang goes in to make a fool out of him, purposely getting right up in his face just to force himself to hit the most ridiculous poses to dodge point blank. Dude saw him hit this, and this, and say, yeah, hell nah, the whole house gonna have to come down. Breaks the well roof, and I'm not gonna lie bro, that is not the reason you were missing, cause he's gonna jump up, and now they're both out there doing the tango with Aang still laser focused on getting that necklace. Zuko's gonna go for the risky attack, throwing his dumbass off balance, and Aang steps on his head and flies upwards, showing that he got the necklace and goes right into the well. And Zuko really thought he had a free one, as he giddily jumps in, sending a fire blast down, and Aang returns by sending a ray of water up, landing, hitting this Iron Man pose, and Zuko falls face first on the ground. Yeah, pack it up bro. Meanwhile, still on the other side, we got Appa getting whipped, no slavery, and it was too much as he falls, getting knocked out of commission, and leaves Aang in a 2v1, dodging both fire blasts and the whip from her. But here, Sokka's gonna have a perfect idea. You see, the village they're in is known for making high quality perfumes, so he suggests they spill barrels of it and deliver it straight to Nyla, so she gets overstimulated by the scents and it makes her go crazy. And it ends up working. She whips Zuko into paralyzation and does the same to June, and Iroh's going to come over to cushion her fall, which was fine until he sat there and pretended like he got hit too. Had Zuko over there like, bro, I didn't see you get hit. Shut your fucking mouth! And right then and there, Aang uses that opportunity to escape. So now Zhao's gonna make Zuko's life even more difficult as he goes to his ship and he straight up says he's taking his crew and offers Uncle Iroh a position of general right in front of him. So of course, Zuko's raging, mad as hell. But then he's gonna turn to his right and he sees the exact same sword Zuko used to help free the Avatar in the blue spirit costume. So now Zuko was over there sweating, but Zhao played it off talking about some, I didn't know you were skilled with swords. And Zuko said, I'm not, they're just antiques. And he pretends to accept his answer, but he has something for his ass. As he then leaves and meets up with the pirates Zuko beefed with and paid them bands to take him out. And it's gonna be easy money for them since Zhao took Zuko's whole crew beforehand. I was going to lead the ship to take a walk, and this is where the pirates strike. 3 of them sneak onto the ship, and 2 on the small boat use the pulley to bring up the explosives. They're gonna go ahead and light the match, hop off the ship, and Zuko hears straight upstairs neighbor noise, so he goes and checks it out. And as he gets to the upper deck, he sees their parrot and realizes too late that he's in danger as a massive explosion booms the ship and Iroh comes back to see the ship in flames. Yeah, Zhao really evil as shit for this. But somehow, Zuko survives all this and it plays into his next plan. So here, Iroh's gonna come to Zhao and says he knows exactly who's responsible. The pirates. Over here showing fake frustration, slamming his fist. And Zhao hits the light Yakumi, no, don't laugh yet, ass face, and offers Iroh to join as his general, and he agrees, which allows for Iroh to cover and aid Zuko while he's pretending to be a soldier on the ship. They set sail for the Northern Water Tribe, and from there Zuko's gonna take a small boat in the nighttime to sneak in. He's able to infiltrate by docking, swimming underwater, and thawing the ice up above. And around this time, Aang was meditating on sacred grounds to ask for help from the spirits against the Fire Nation. But somehow, Zuko was able to sneak all the way into the back of the Water Tribe and get into the Spirit Oasis. Katara's guarding his body though, so he has to run into her first. And she gave him straight belt, blocking all his spam fire attacks, and then she's gonna send him flying back with one attack, hitting face first on the ground. He gets up talking about some, I've seen you learn a new trick. And his weak ass gets blocked, pushed back by the water, and gets frozen by the feet. And Katara's like, hold up, let me give you that Aang special. Starts wrapping water around him doing these frantic arm movements, and completely surrounds him with water and traps him in ice. And this really must have pissed him off, cause he reminds us he's royalty as he calls her a little peasant before breaking out the ice. Did all that just for him to do nothing after, as he comes out spamming fire attacks, missing all of them, and mid-fight he really thought he could just throw this weak ass fire kick and grab Aang. Bro, no. Gets smacked off, he hits the wall, and Katara freezes him. But unfortunately for Katara, her win wouldn't last long, as the sun is going to rise up, making her water bending weaker and Zuko's fire bending stronger. As he melts the ice, drops down, and sends a powerful fire attack right at her. But she couldn't block it as she hits the tree and gets concussed, failing her mission. And now that I'm really paying attention to all this, Zuko was really bugging, cause walking through this biome with the Avatar is crazy work. He's eventually gonna find a cave to camp in, and damn, Zuko handled the body with care. He just lets Aang's head bonk on this slant, treating his ass like Woody. He's gonna tie up Aang, and after a few hours, Aang goes back to his body, and off rip, he causing problems, blowing him to a wall, and he tries to worm his way out, but Zuko picks him up, and right behind is Appa and the squad coming in to handle him. And it's nighttime too, so when Katara lands, it's a quick snack for her. As she blocks his attack, uses the snow under to lift him up, freezes him, and slams him to the ground. And now he's knocked out. And if it weren't for Aang being a good person, he would have died right here out in the cold. But yeah, they save his life, and Zuko leaves empty-handed again. And the next time he runs into the Avatar, he teamed up with Azula. They all meet up in a four-way deadlock, and Zuko is firing at Aang with straight anger. You could tell he tired of the chase. While he was key spamming though, Aang is going to loop around and thrust the air. What type of bag is this? And Zuko couldn't handle it, as the wind clone sends him flying back and dribbling off the ground. and Aang comes in to finish him, but he moves out the way, starts firing back, and Aang retreats to this crystal, posted up like Spider-Man. So Zuko is gonna send a powerful attack up, and Aang tries blocking it, but it sends him off. And here's where you see some creative bending, as Zuko creates a fire whip and starts swinging it around. But Aang wasn't fucking with the zoning shit Zuko was doing, so he gets the idea to cut the rock above, drop it down, and do a ground pound, causing a mini earthquake to launch him off his feet. And he bounces off the floor and hits this crystal. But unfortunately for Aang, the attack left him buried, so he couldn't keep up the pressure, allowing Zuko to interfere with Katara's battle, where she had both Azula's arm and leg tied up. And Zuko comes in, slicing the attack and freeing her, and they start scrapping, leaving Aang and Azula in a 1v1 now. Azula's gonna launch towards Aang, and Aang uses the crystals to create armor and charge at Azula. She's gonna stop and send a fire blast, pushing Aang back and into the wall, leaving Katara in a 2v1, and it was over from there, out there jumping her, pressuring her so much that it pushes her back into the crystal and it knocks her down. So now Aang is mad as shit, comes in with fury, slamming the ground and using rocks to slide through. But a Dai Li agent's gonna send him off, and Aang quickly realizes him and Katara are outmatched. So he's gonna decide to camp, making a tent for himself so he could go and access the Avatar state. And he rises up, and it's the messed out dudes was just about to watch him levitate and go fucking Super Saiyan. Boy, we not having that. Azula snipes his ass out the sky, making him lose all his aura, and he falls down. Katara catches him, and Iroh's gonna come in and hold them off, allowing them to escape, with the thought of the Fire Nation believing he's dead. But we know what happens. Katara's gonna use the Spirit Oasis water to res him, and they live to fight another day. But as for Zuko, his weak ass is gonna get all-time lays for betraying his uncle, as Azula is gonna give him credit for getting the Avatar, and life is good for him. He gets back in the Fire Nation. He's not rocking that yee ass cut, but after a couple of days, he's gonna find out the Avatar is still alive. And he doesn't want to go through all this shame again, so he confronts his lame ass dad and tells him that the Avatar is alive, and he says he's done taking orders from him. And he takes it surprisingly well, as he responds with firing lightning at him, but he catches it, redirects it, causing him to fall back, and he dips out, finally walking his own path.
You had him, and then you had nowhere to go.
I would have figured something out.
No!
I know my own destiny, Uncle.
Is it your own destiny? Or is it a destiny someone else is trying to force on you? It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want?
And yeah, that's the end of the video.
That is deep.
Thank you for 818K. We moving.
Yeah, we moving too. Hey, y'all, man, that was interesting, man. I can't wait to watch the full thing. It's totality, you know.
Yep.
My solo reacts, you know. Cause it'll be just me and you.
Yeah, it will be.
Just me and you.
So y'all let them know which one y'all want them to do.
Cause she ain't gonna do it. She don't want to.
We haven't even talked about it, so.
Cause ain't no point. I already know you. I know you like the back of my hand. Y'all spam us up. Let us know y'all thoughts in the comments for it down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ No Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are.
Kid and
We are.
Go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar, 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 dollar.